Hi everybody, Kirsten here, and today I'm going to have a little bit of a different kind of a video. I try not to make these serious videos, and I do my best to keep this just about books that I love, but today I needed to say something and it's kind of important and it needs to be talked about. I'm going to say this once and only once. I do not owe anyone an apology for expressing my opinions over books I've read and didn't like, over characters I did not like, over anything that I did not like that I did for enjoyment. I read books because I love books. I absolutely love them. I read a book a day. I love reading, and it's something that I've passing along to my son. I read to him so much throughout the day, and his favorite thing is when I read to him at night before he goes to sleep. He just sits there with his little blanket and watches me while I read to him. And it is so important for me to have books in my life, and that is why I have a bookish Tumblr. I don't just talk about books on it, but I mean, it is pretty much just a book related Tumblr, and then I have this YouTube channel, and I'm also a part of Goodreads, and I participate in book clubs, and I participate in the readathons. I am not going to like every book that I read. I'm just not going to, and that is normal. I am not going to like every popular book. I'm not going to hate every book that everybody hates, and that is okay. I am allowed to express those opinions just like everybody else is allowed to express their opinions over matters on their own platform. I do not owe anyone anything when it comes to my own blog. When it comes to me talking about books that I have read, I'm allowed to have the opinions that I have because my opinions do not affect anybody in a negative way, because I'm not attacking anybody personally when I say I don't like a book. If you take it personally that I don't like a book that you love, I'm sorry, that is not my intent. I am just expressing my opinion. If you completely identify to a character that I didn't love, that does not mean that I'm not going to like you. That does not mean that I am attacking you personally because you identify with this person. It's just, I just did not like the character. I perceived them in a way that you did not. When I read this book, my interpretation of the book was different than yours, and that is perfectly okay. And that is the thing that I love about books, is that books are so varied. The readers of books are so varied, the genres are so varied, authors are so varied, and the ways to interpret these books are so varied, and there are varying opinions of these books. When you go through Goodreads and you look at the book that you're reading, you can go through the reviews and see that people have different ratings for this book, and they talk about different points for the book than other people talk about, and that's because they pick up on things that were more important to them than when someone else did. And that is completely okay, and people are allowed to express those opinions, and they are allowed to talk about them. And the thing that you are not allowed to do as an outside observer watching and reading and doing these things is to come to that person in a hostile manner and tell them to kill themselves, to tell them to hurt themselves, to tell them they are a piece of shit, or that they are an old hag, or they shouldn't be allowed to read, or they shouldn't have a blog, or that you don't want to see things that they're posting on their blog, so they should stop. No one owes you anything on their own blog. Nobody. If someone doesn't want to post trigger tags, they don't have to. That just unfollow them. If something that they do bothers you to the point where you have to anonymously come to them and tell them to kill themselves, why are you on their page? Why does their opinion matter to you that much that you want to wish them harm? And it's so silly to me that it's over books, and that people feel personally attacked over books. I am 29 years old, and when Harry Potter came out, I was 12. And I was ashamed of myself because I loved these books so much, because I got made fun of to the point where I didn't tell people I liked things anymore. And when I stopped caring and I said I like these things, then people would tell me that I was a fake whatever because I didn't express those opinions forthright, because I got made fun of for liking them so much, and it's never okay, ever. And I hate seeing these girls that I follow that are so nice and they are so sweet and they reply to every message that they have and they do it in a way that is so polite, and even these people that are absolutely horrible to them and attack them because they have a difference of opinion instead of opening a dialogue. You know, you just automatically go to these people and spew all of these hateful things, and they are so polite and they answer you back. And you still, like, people still have the audacity to go back to them and tell them to kill themselves and to tell them to hurt themselves and that their opinion shouldn't matter to anybody. That is never okay. And it bothers me. It bothers me so much, more so than when it happens to me, because I am at that point in my life where people's opinion of me does not matter. A lot of these girls and a lot of these women and a lot of these young men that have these blogs, not all of them are there in their life yet. And it breaks my heart to see them get all of this hate in all of these messages. And you can tell that it bothers them. And no one should ever feel like they cannot express their own opinion, ever. Ever. No one should ever feel that that can be taken away from them. And you know, I'm very angry about it right now. I am, because the bookish community is big, but it's small. It's just like living in a city, but the group of people that you are pooled in with is small. They may live all over the city, but everybody knows everybody. That's exactly what it's like. I interact with all of these amazing people and all of these amazing women and young men and men that love books and read the same kind of books that I do, and we all have varying opinions, and I love having open dialogues where we can talk about these things, but there's always that anonymous person that comes in and ruins it for everybody, and then everybody gets so quiet for a couple of weeks and feel they can't talk about anything, and it's absolutely horrible. It bothers me because this isn't even anything big. We're not talking about big world matters. We are talking about books. We're talking about books. Books don't have a definitive way that they are supposed to be read. They do not. Everyone interprets words differently. Everyone interprets dialogue differently. Everything can be interpreted in such a different way when you're reading or watching a movie or whatever. The way an author sees a book that they write is not going to be the same way the reader sees it. And, you know, authors go into this business knowing that not everyone is going to like what they put out. And just like me saying I don't like John Green's books, it's not a personal attack on him. I just don't like his books. And I'm allowed to not like his books. I'm allowed to not like his books, but still like him as an author. I had no problem with John Green. None whatsoever. You know, I didn't like his books. I like The Fault in Our Stars. I didn't like his other books. I just don't like his characters. I do not connect with them in any way. And that's okay. I do this for enjoyment. I make these videos. I am on Tumblr. I participate in these things. I read for enjoyment. I don't get paid. This isn't my job. People don't come to me and expect my opinion to be the only opinion that matters, because my opinion isn't the only opinion that matters, and it never will. So I just think it's so silly that that happens. And, you know, I do follow a lot of book tumblers that have such a cult following, and they say one thing and there's like a wave of like 30 messages that they get that all say the same thing about how they shouldn't say this. You know, this is the only kind of video I'm going to have like this. So if you watched this, thank you for sticking it out and listening to my ranty ass. Everybody have a good week and enjoy this weather and stop hating each other, please. But everybody, I will see you next time.